They warned us about Blackwell Sanitarium. Built in 1924, deep in the woods of upstate New York, it was once a state-of-the-art mental health facility. But within decades, it became notorious for rumors of abuse, unethical experiments, and unexplained patient disappearances. By 1967, the doors were shut for good. Yet the building remains shrouded in mystery and darkness, its corridors echoing with the cries of its forgotten residents. When I heard about Blackwell, I knew I had to see it for myself. I wasn't alone. Daniel, our team leader and filmmaker, was determined to document everything. Lisa, his girlfriend, was there reluctantly, but her curiosity kept her going. Marcus and Jenna, seasoned urban explorers, had been to places like this before, but nothing could prepare us for what we found that night. We arrived just before sunset. The building loomed before us, its cracked facade covered in ivy, the windows shattered like jagged teeth. A faint mist rolled in from the forest, adding to the unsettling silence that surrounded the asylum. As we approached the entrance, Lisa whispered, "This place doesn't feel right." But Daniel laughed it off, insisting we stick to the plan. Inside, the air was damp and cold. Our flashlights illuminated crumbling walls covered in graffiti and old furniture left to rot. The silence was oppressive, broken only by the sound of our footsteps. In one hallway, Marcus pointed to deep scratches along the wall, too high up to be made by any animal. "These aren't normal," he said. But we kept going, drawn deeper into the asylum's decaying halls. In the administrative wing, we found old patient files scattered across the floor. Most were unreadable, their ink smudged by time. But one file caught our attention. It was marked Project Renewal. Inside were fragmented notes about experiments conducted on patients, referring to them only by numbers. One note read, Subject 12, highly unstable, termination recommended. Lisa frowned, whispering, "What were they doing to these people?" Then we found it. A photograph lying among the papers. It showed a patient with hollow eyes staring blankly at the camera. On the back, someone had written, "They never left." Jenna shivered. "We shouldn't be here," she said. But Daniel, as always, pushed us forward. The staircase to the basement was narrow and steep, the air growing colder with every step. At the bottom, our flashlights revealed strange carvings on the walls, symbols that looked like spirals and jagged lines etched deeply into the stone. Rusted medical equipment and scattered syringes littered the floor, adding to the eerie atmosphere. Lisa hesitated, saying, "These markings, they look like rituals or something." "This isn't medical." But Daniel dismissed her concerns. Then we heard it, a faint sound like crying, coming from deeper within the basement. We followed the noise, our flashlights flickering as we moved. The sound led us to a heavy metal door, partially hidden by debris. It was locked, but Daniel found a set of old keys hanging nearby. As he turned the key, the door creaked open, revealing a dark, empty room. A sudden rush of cold air hit us, carrying with it a faint whisper that none of us could understand. And then, the crying stopped. As we stepped into the room, our flashlights revealed claw marks on the walls and deep scratches on the floor, as if something had been trying to escape. In the corner, we found an old machine, its purpose unclear, but its wires and levers looked menacing. Lisa backed away, saying, "We need to leave. Now." But before we could, the metal door slammed shut behind us, the sound echoing through the basement. Panic set in. We ran back toward the stairs, but the corridors seemed to twist and turn in ways they hadn't before. The carvings on the walls seemed to glow faintly, pulsating with a rhythm we couldn't explain. Then we saw it, a shadowy figure at the end of the hall. It didn't walk. It glided silently toward us, its form shifting unnaturally. Jenna screamed, "It's coming!" We turned and ran, but the shadow was always just behind us. Marcus tripped over debris, dropping his flashlight. In its beam, we caught a glimpse of the figure, tall, faceless, and reaching out with long, shadowy arms. It didn't make a sound, but its presence was suffocating. Somehow, we made it back to the administrative wing. Breathless and terrified, we barricaded ourselves in one of the offices. Among the papers on the desk, we found another file. This one detailed the true purpose of Project Renewal. The asylum's doctors weren't trying to cure their patients. They were experimenting with ways to harness psychic energy, pushing their minds to the brink to create a new form of existence. One note read, Subject 13, Transition successful. Entity stable. We realized too late that we were never alone in this place. The lights flickered and the room grew colder. The whispering returned, louder this time, surrounding us. Marcus tried to open the door, but it wouldn't budge. And then, the shadow seeped into the room, and the next thing I remember is waking up outside the asylum, the sun rising through the trees. My camera was beside me, but the footage was incomplete. Fragmented images of the basement, the symbols, and the shadow. Daniel, Lisa, Marcus, and Jenna. They were gone. No trace of them was ever found. Days later, police searched the asylum but found nothing unusual. The files we saw? Gone. The photographs? Gone. But I know what I saw, and sometimes late at night, I hear the whispers again. Faint, but undeniable. Blackwell Sanitarium took something from us, and I don't think it's finished.